Happy Saturday. We are here again together. And I watched a wonderful program today with Brock Purdy. And it was a deep dive in what makes him tick and how he breaks things down mentally. It was quite revealing and fun. Steve Young was the person interviewing him. So, I don't know if you know this, but the last quarterback to win with the 49ers was 30 years ago, and it was Steve Young. Hopefully your Saturday is going well, and you're treating yourself well. We have a little bit of water, we have a little bit of coffee, and hopefully this week was a good, prosperous week for you. I'm hoping to do a little bit more Twitter Spaces. I did it today. Very emotional Twitter Spaces today. A little crazy. Some of the people that were in the space were crying and frustrated, and it's hard to see people like that. We are currently on Restream, and Restream is a platform where you can multi-stream. And we are currently, I just have to look here, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, and my all-time favorite, Twitter. It has a new feature now that tells you who's watching and from what platform. So right now we have a majority of our watchers are on the platform of YouTube, which is growing all the time. Now, I noticed the other day, if you have portrait on, the viewership seems to be higher than when it's on landscape. And yet there's been this big push on TikTok to do videos over a minute that are in landscape. So things are forever changing. We are looking right here. Learn to live when people leave. Oh, that's a good one. Many people grasp on, get crazy, start to lose their mind when individuals leave. And just know that sometimes in life, when people leave, it is part of a greater purpose. There's new lessons coming down the pipeline for you. And it's okay to be a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit sad. And I've been noticing on Twitter Spaces, there has been a higher level of emotion in the spaces and people being very open about how things have been tough for them. Hello, Violet. How are you today? I always ask people when they come up, what are you currently grateful for? And we're grateful that you're here with us on this platform. But have you noticed in the last, I would say, month or so since Christmas, a lot of people are having a rough time coping. And I've noticed it in the Twitter Spaces that there's less and less people pretending that things are okay. Let's look at this one here. It says, you know you're healing when you no longer look for things that hurt. I think too, for a lot of us, we enjoy kind of wallowing in that pain and the suffering. You know, if you can, wherever you are in the world right now, I would love to know where you are, and just put it in the chat. Yesterday we had people from Alaska, which blew my mind. You know, you never know on YouTube the people that you're going to connect with, and I'm forever shocked. And the other thing I've noticed too, that if your fan base is big enough, you could go on at any time because you're in a timeline where people are up, right? I am not at that point yet. But let's say that you're a person who has 100,000 people who follow you. you would be better off to go different intervals when you go live. And what I mean by that, go at 3 in the morning one time. Another time go at 12 in the afternoon, which I find is pretty good. The other slot that works really well for me is like 10 in the morning. I also used to notice too that if I used to do it at 6 in the morning, the only people that I would be getting in the chat were from Australia, England, Ireland. It was the UK. It was fun, but rarely got people from Canada. Rarely got people from the States. But the audience that I'm growing on YouTube seems to be all over the place in random different spots of the world. And there's even metrics for that. So, but let's read this again. You know you're healing when you no longer look for things that hurt. And we have this ability to replay in our heads things that are not good, like a broken record. And instead of being hurt by something, say once, we repeatedly get hurt by that same incident over and over again. And I was noticing today when I was in Twitter Spaces, there were individuals that did not want to leave the pain that they were in or the story that they were in. It was really difficult for them to do that. And they were frustrated. And I think if you have a story, and even if it's a painful one, it is something that I think that fills their day. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Thanks for just saving my family from... I'm gonna put this one up. This is funny. Well, that's good. The zombie eclipse. Yes. You know, it's funny because the other day on one of the football shows I was watching, he was talking about it would be so cool that if they had sports teams in movies where there was a section where the zombies could sit. And I thought that was a very cool concept. Why do you think we're so drawn to fantasy and superheroes in movies? Is that an escape for us? For the collective? Because many times when I talk to people on YouTube or on Twitter or in Twitter Spaces, they always love to talk about, you know, superheroes. Especially in the sports shows. It's funny. They really have a way of, look at this setup. Isn't that insane? That's beautiful. Imagine having a setup like that in your house. It's incredible. Okay, this is from Inner Practitioner. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's not your job to detox and save others. It's your job to detox and save yourself from toxic environments. Crazy how peaceful life becomes when you stop trying to save others, solve their problems, and take on their emotional energy. Inner Practitioner, I've been in a couple rooms with him, and he's wild. He's so not like his tweets. In fact, when I met him, I wasn't convinced that it was him. But then I started listening to his language that he was using, and he has a very thick accent, and it was similar to the things that he writes. So it goes to show you, you know, you may see one side of someone on the internet, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what they're like in life. This can all be like a grand theater. Okay, let's take a moment, because I promised that I would do this. And someone talked about this today. All right, we're going to look at the notifications, and I guess I haven't been doing them as much as I should, so I'm going to do this today because for some people this is their favorite part, and I totally understand that. Okay, so we are going to look at Danica here, and Danica is a person who does Twitter Spaces quite often. I believe it's on Mondays. And she's the founder of Mindfulness with a Purpose, mindset and spiritual coach, public speaker, workshop facilitator, and educator. She is a teacher. She's a wonderful person. Highly recommend following her if you're on Twitter. She's also, I believe, on YouTube. Nick is someone I met recently, and Nick is a person who does all kinds of different collaborations, does shorts, does occasional Twitter Spaces, which are really good. He seems to put a lot of thought into it. Noble Ron is another person that I've known, I think, since Habs. And he is definitely worth following. Let's do it this way so you can maybe see it a little better. There you go. There you go. That'll work easier. You have a lot less space when you do this format, which is portrait, but it fits better on your phone. The other thing I was saying earlier is if you do portrait, for some reason, you get a totally different audience in live on YouTube, and I've never understood why. Currently, we have 3 people who are watching on Twitter, so hopefully it's a couple of the individuals who wanted to see the notifications. The other great thing is, too, on Twitter, this is forever available, and you have to remember that when I say that. This is forever available, so make sure that whatever you post, whatever you say, is supporting your brand, right? Because the internet is a tricky thing. You can do a lot of good with it, but you can also do a lot of harm. And words are weapons. I really believe that. Here's a great contributor, Nadine, right from the gut, and you can see that fairly well. I don't know this person, to be honest. We'll have a look here together. They love Disney. They love pop and rock music. They love horror books. Live and love hard. Okay. This is interesting. All right. Well, thank you for the notifications. I appreciate that. The mentions. I have a new follower called the Love Troll. That's hilarious. Here we go. Now, I'm finding that there are quite a few people on Twitter who are deeply meshed in the Twitter Spaces. And now, here's a person who has great content. This is Simone Louise. Highly recommend following her as well. And let's see if she has anything coming up. In fact, I think she's on right now. Journey Within, I Am, Consciousness, Laughter, and Heals. If I get a moment, I'll go and say hello. If I get, oh, that's beautiful. Look at this. Imagine having that kind of joy daily. That would be wonderful. All right. That's the wonderful thing I think about a lot, is how animals are very real. Like, they will share. I'm not saying they're not manipulative. Of course they are. And the more intelligent they are, the better. This is a person I need to have back on the show again, Salomon. Here you go. And this is Salomon the foodie. We barely talked about food when he came on. He has a Twitter Spaces almost every day. And they run multiple hours. And he has a very set clientele or audience, if you like that better. We have Julian Hayes here, which is Witch Husband, another person very much worth following. All right, and let's do maybe a couple more. Barbara Allen, and Barbara Allen and I have probably followed each other, I would say, up to 10 years. And she makes jewelry, as you can see here, Crystal Moon Jewelry Designs. And you can find her stuff on Instagram, eBay, Etsy, Facebook, and Pinterest. Is anybody on Pinterest anymore? I can't even tell you the last time I was on Pinterest. I love this. Look at this. Love is energy. Pass it forward. It starts with us. Totally agree. This is cool too. All right. Always stay positive. Say it like it's already done. I like that. Yeah. I believe that. Live it like it's already here. That you've already attained it in your brain. And then your brain, I think, will actually, the world will manifest it for you. I think that's very strong. Do not spend time thinking about anything opposite to what you want. So true. We spend so much time lost in worry and things that we don't want in our lives. And I think the universe then, in turn, says that must be what he wants, because that's all he thinks about. And that you're going to get more of that, and more of that, and more of that. So I highly recommend, if you want something in your life, focus on that. Meditate on what you want. I saw someone today randomly meditating in front of a church. Thought it was really cool. See it, smell it, feel it, hear it. I like that. See it, smell it, feel it, hear it. I agree. I've never heard that before. It's very good. Gabriel, thank you for being here. Could you say women and laugh? That's funny. Why is that important to you, Gabriel? There you go. It must be one of those things you say it and it sounds like something else. Or it brings him joy. I've seen videos on YouTube where they'll, ask somebody to recite the name of the coffee they offered, and it's something disgusting. If it's real in your brain, it will be real in the physical. I subscribed. Well, good. I appreciate you subscribing. That's wonderful. So, Gabriel, what brings you a sense of peace? What lights you up? How do you spend your waking moments? Sounds like you're a bit of a character. I like that. Okay, let's see what we got here. We're still in Barbara Allen. She has great... Oh, look at that. That's insane. That's a great shot. So, Gabriel, do you make content yourself? Like, do you go live? If you do, I would love to see one of your broadcasts. The other thing, too, is in the future, if you're comfortable being on camera, we will have you on. Okay, I like this. When I do something really fun, it makes me positive. So, do you mean it makes you feel alive with grand possibilities? I hope so. Now, the great thing with Restream is you can put up the comments that you do. He says, no. Are you happy in this current state of the world that we're in right now? The other thing I would love to ask you is, what brings you a sense of peace, number one? And number two, what are you currently grateful for? And I find if you focus on what you're grateful for, you tend to get more of what you want. And that's so important. And it's like the list that we just looked at a second ago. It's up here. I think the most powerful thing I saw there was, do not spend time thinking about anything opposite to what you want. That's a great list, actually. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to look this site up and see what it is. Oh, okay. They also talk about witchcraft here. This is a little out of my zone, but a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. I would agree. Let's put that up. Let's say that together. A magnet for miracles. Oh, I like that. You could have a shirt. You should be a magnet for miracles. Grateful for my life. What aspects in your life make you feel grateful? Are you grateful for your work, your family, your car, a roof over your head, 3 square meals. I used to have a friend that used to say, I am grateful because I am warm, dry, and fed. And this person was, I would say, pretty successful. He owned a pawn shop. And I said, why is that so important to you? And he says, when I was a kid, we never had all 3 of those. We always had maybe 1 or 2. Warm, dry, fed. He said many times where we lived, the roof leaked. And there were many times where we went several meals without food. And we'd have to be creative. That's what he said. We had to be creative on how we found ways to make money. Oh, good. So you're a religious man. So when you say my Savior, what do you believe in? What is your religion? Most religions, I feel, are very similar. And the other thing, Gabriel, where are you currently in the world? That would be wonderful to know where you are. If you are watching this on the replay later, please be kind enough to like, share, leave a comment, subscribe, and tell us where you're from. But we have lately been getting a lot more traction on YouTube, which excites me. And this has been a long journey. I've been doing this, I'd say 10 years, not every day. But I find if you do it every day, then you can build an audience. Okay, so let's quickly look back at TweetDeck. Jesus Christ. Okay. Do you have a certain denomination that you... I have a couple friends that are very religious. In fact, I will say hello to Ravi today. Because when you said Jesus Christ, it reminded me of him. Oh, I like this. Control what you can, be at peace with what you cannot. I would agree. So, for those who will be watching this later, who are you voting for in the Super Bowl? And why? And are you only watching it? Oh, this is where you're from, Eagle Pass, Texas. I like Texas. What is the temperature today in Texas? I have a dear friend, Brian, who lives in Texas, and he says it's hot all the time. Is it comfortable at this time of the year? Now, in Las Vegas right now, it is very cold. In fact, people cannot believe how cold it is. It's not uncomfortably cold, but I think it's around 8 to 10 degrees. And I think many individuals don't think it's ever that cold except maybe at night. I like this here. What scares me most is not the fact that our media is lying to us. It is the fact that most of us believe them. I don't think everybody believes. I think many people are educated and pick and choose the things they want to believe. And I think, everybody has different feelings about religion and politics, and that's why they always say, don't bring those up. Now, there are many channels that are very passionate about, especially their political beliefs. This is beautiful. Look at that. This music is wild, too. Listen, I like this one. Listen to your spirit when it tells you to fall back from certain people. And I think that is a good piece of advice. 75. Show. Is that how old you are? What does the 75 represent? Oh, it's 75 degrees. Okay. I got it. Took me a while to get there. 75 is perfect. I can handle 75. But you guys in the summer get to like 100, 110, right? It's crazy. I like this. Do what scares you until it doesn't. I think that would scare me. That is a mind-blowing thing. Now, is that the actual size of the shark? That's crazy. I like this. We were just talking about this. I don't care which party is in control. I won't be controlled. Do you live by those words, I wonder? Yes. I hear this a lot, but it's so true, especially at this time of the year. Okay. $126 degrees. Holy mackerel. You could fry eggs on the roof of your car, on the roof of your house, maybe even on the driveway. That's crazy hot. You could burn your feet. You'd have to be very careful with your pets, right? That you don't burn their paws. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind always. And we know how deeply he suffered from depression, right? That's Robin Williams. This is funny. Wow, this is crazy, this one. Give yourself 1 point for everything you've never done. Used a rotary phone, used a floppy disk, used a typewriter, taken photos with a film camera, listened to music on a CD, listened to a cassette tape. Now, it's been a while since I listened to a cassette tape, but I have done that. Listened to a vinyl record, listened to music on a Walkman. I had a Walkman at one point. Listened to music on a boombox outside. I've done that. Watch a video from a VHS tape. Did that for years. Send or receive a fax. I have a few times in my life. Recorded music from a radio to a cassette. Oh my God, many times. Rented a video from Blockbuster. Yes. Accessed the internet by dial-up. No, I didn't. That is one thing I never did. Used a phone book. Yes. Sent a postcard. Yes. Used a paper map to get somewhere. Oh yes, still do. Owned a dictionary. Yes. Owned an encyclopedia. Yes. Paid with a paper check. Yes. So I got 19 out of 20 on that one. Tell me how you do on it. Do the test. It's fun. All right, let's get rid of here. 126. That blows my mind. So Gabriel, of all these things on the list here, what have you not done? There was only one there. I've never dialed up. That is something I didn't do. I wasn't really into computers, I think, until the internet was established. Now, it wasn't really great, and I mean more of a mid-speed, not high-speed, which would have been, I think, about 1998, 2000, in that range, and really wasn't on a computer until, I would say, 2004, 2005, and have steadily been on computers ever since, which is wild when I think about it. Think about this generation, how many thousands of selfies they will have. Millions of pictures. I like this one too. You learn nothing from life if you think you're right all the time. And I think that's a really valid point. You have to be open to being wrong, or at least be open to being flexible to other people's opinions, and not necessarily feel like you have to have all the answers, because we're always in pursuit of new knowledge. And if you can, which is really hard, be patient to get the answers, and know that the answers may take a long time. Thank you for being here. We will see you maybe tomorrow. Have a great day, and have a wonderful Sunday tomorrow if I don't talk to you. Take care.